create a C++ program that will show the following output, right? So we will need to have one loop to control, you know, that it has to be 4 lines, right? Another loop to control the asterisk has to be printed for each line. This is how I view it. You might have a different kind of solution, right? So taking that into consideration, I made use of 2 counters. One is counter, the other one I just put AST for, actually for asterisk, right? See if this makes sense to you, right? So the first counter, like I said, is for the line, right? So we start with counter is equal to 1 until 4 because we are doing 4 lines, right? And as you can see here, this is within the main loop, the main for loop, which is for counter, right? So there will be 4 breaking lines because count will go from 1 to 4. It will add 1 by 1 like that, right? Then I have another loop which is for printing the asterisk, and that loop is controlled by the AST counter, right? And what I see is basically just so long as asterisk AST is less than or equal to count, continue printing this and then continue adding up to the value of asterisk until it gets to where count is, right? Let's say for the first round count is 1, asterisk is also 1, so while asterisk is less than or equal to count, which is true because asterisk is 1, print this once, asterisk becomes 2, it goes up and check whether asterisk is less than or equal to count. No, because now it is 2, it goes out of the loop, then count becomes 2, right? Asterisk is reinitiated to 1, so now asterisk is 1 again, right? So while asterisk is less than or equal to count, in this particular case count is already 2, right? Print this once, so it is printed, then asterisk gets added 1, asterisk becomes 2, it goes up. Is asterisk less than or equal to count, which is 2? That is true because asterisk is 2, which is equals to 2, so it prints it again, and then it adds 1 here, it becomes 3. It goes up, it checks whether asterisk is less than or equal to count, which is no longer true because 3 is no longer less than or equal to 2. And then it goes out, and then another line break is printed. It goes out again, and then count now becomes 3. And so it repeats itself. 3 asterisk is initiated as 1, asterisk 1 less than or equal to 3, that is correct. Print once, it becomes 2, goes out, 2 is less than or equal to 3, correct. Print again, it becomes 3, goes out, 3 is less than or equal to 3, correct. Prints again, it becomes 4, goes out. 4 is no longer less than or equal to 3, that is incorrect, so it skips to this line, then it goes to the next line, it goes out, and then count updates to 4 and so on, right? So we'll have this kind of a result. Let's see, right? So when we run this, we will get that, right? Whereas for the next one, we want to invert that. For inversion, of course, we can just simply do something like this, right? 4 and then more than or equal to 1, we put a minus here, right? We get asterisk is equal to count. Asterisk will just take the value of count, and we just say asterisk is more than or equal to 1, right? We print it however many times, and then we remember that asterisk has to be reduced in order for it to no longer apply, in order for it to meet this condition, meaning it's no longer more than or equal to 1, so that it can stop the loop and then go out. Next line is printed, and then count is -1 and so on. Let's see how this goes. Right. So the next one goes like that. It's an inverted asterisk printed. Right. So let's do this one by one. Same thing. So count starts at 1. Count starts at 4. And each time, each reiteration, count will be -1, right? Asterisk is equal to count. So whatever is the value of count, asterisk will follow that, right? And we have a looping for asterisk, which is true as long as asterisk is more than or equal to 1. So asterisk starts at 4. It will print this 4 times. print it once and then check, and then it becomes 3, goes out, is it more than or equal to 1? Yes, it is. Prints again, it becomes 2, check, correct, print again, it becomes 1, check, correct, print again, now it becomes 0, goes out, 0 is no longer more than or equal to 1, so it goes out, and then the next line is printed. Next line is printed, then we go out, now count becomes 3, right? Asterisk will take that value, asterisk is equal to 3, so it does the same thing all over again. I would like to think that this is simpler, right? So 3, 2, checks, 2 is more than or equal to 1, correct, print again, becomes 1, goes out, 1 is more than or equal to 1, yes, it's correct, print again, it becomes 0, go out, 0 is no longer adhering to this particular condition, so it goes out, next line is printed, and so on.